Imagine a blade so sharp, it severs the very air between who you think you are and what you actually are. Most men live inside a comfortable hallucination. They believe they deserve power because of their bloodline, their education, or their good intentions. They believe the world owes them respect. This is the lie that keeps the weak sedated. But history is written by the few who see the terrifying truth. There is a currency more valuable than gold and more enduring than lineage. That currency is utility. To understand the mechanics of true power, you must strip away the soft flesh of sentimentality and look at the hard bone of the world. You must look at the architect of the greatest land empire in human history. He was a man who did not care who your father was. He only cared if you could ride, shoot, and obey. By understanding the mind of Genghis Khan, you unlock a terrifyingly simple secret to dominance. It is the rejection of feelings in favor of function. It is the realization that merit is the only God worth worshipping in a chaotic universe. If you apply this cold logic to your own life, you cease to be a victim of circumstance. You become a weapon of will. The year is 1162. The Mongolian steppe is a frozen hellscape where life is cheap and death is guaranteed. Tribes are fractured, warring over scarce resources, locked in a cycle of blood feuds that has lasted for centuries. In this chaos, a boy named Temujin is born grasping a blood clot in his fist. The omens said he would be a conqueror, but the reality of his early life was humiliation. His father, a tribal chief, was poisoned by enemies. Did the tribe rally around the chieftain's son out of loyalty? Did they respect the hierarchy of blood? No. They abandoned Temujin and his family to starve on the tundra. They saw a widow and young children as dead weight. This was Temujin's first lesson in the unforgiving physics of power. Loyalty based on tradition is a ghost. It vanishes when the stomach is empty. For years he ate rats and moss to survive. He was hunted by his own people. He was captured and enslaved, wearing a wooden collar like a dog. Most men would have broken. They would have died of self-pity or begged the spirits for mercy. But Temujin did not pray. He observed. He realized that the old way of the steppe was a suicide pact. The aristocracy of birth was a weakness, because it placed incompetent men in charge of survival. He saw that the tribes were weak because they were sentimental. They promoted cousins and brothers regardless of skill. They fought for pride, not for strategic gain. In the silence of his captivity, the boy died, and the Khan was born. He decided to build a machine made of human beings, lubricated by merit and fueled by absolute efficiency. When he began his rise, he did the unthinkable. He ignored the intricate web of tribal alliances that had governed the steppe for 1,000 years. When he defeated a rival tribe, he did not loot them and flee. He did not enslave the commoners while ransoming the nobles. He executed the leaders who had failed to lead. Then he took the common warriors, the peasants, and the outcasts, and he integrated them into his own army. He told them that their past did not matter. Their tribe did not matter. The only thing that mattered was their ability to follow orders and kill the enemy. He broke the horizontal lines of tribal loyalty and replaced them with a vertical line of loyalty to him alone. He created a meritocracy in a world of nepotism. Consider the story of Jebe. During a battle against the Taichud tribe, an enemy archer shot Temujin's horse out from under him. The arrow struck the beast in the neck, nearly killing the future Khan. After the battle was won, and the enemy captives were rounded up, Temujin asked who had fired the shot. He did not ask in anger. He asked with curiosity. A man stepped forward and confessed. He expected to be executed on the spot. To kill a Khan's horse is a death sentence. But Temujin did not see an assassin. He saw an asset. He saw a man with the steady hand and the cold nerve to target a commander in the heat of battle. He saw competence. Temujin renamed the man Jebe, which means the arrow. He made him a general. Jebe would go on to become one of the greatest cavalry commanders in history, conquering lands as far away as Russia. A lesser man would have let his ego dictate his actions. He would have killed Jebe to satisfy his anger. But Genghis Khan had no ego when it came to results. He traded the momentary satisfaction of revenge for the eternal utility of a great general. This is the dark philosophy of high performance. Your feelings are a luxury you cannot afford. Your ego is a liability. If someone hates you but is useful to you, you use them. If someone loves you but is useless, you discard them. This is not cruelty. It is engineering. Khan structured his army on the decimal system. 10 men to a squad, 10 squads to a company, 10 companies to a regiment, 10 regiments to a tumen of 10,000 soldiers. Commanders were not chosen by birthright. They were chosen by results. A shepherd's son could command a prince if the shepherd's son was the better strategist. This destroyed the political infighting that plagues most organizations. In the courts of Europe and China, generals were appointed because they were the king's favorite or the duke's nephew. These men were soft. They were concerned with court etiquette and looking good in silk robes. When they faced the Mongol horde, they were facing a force that had stripped away all pretension. The Mongol army was a fluid organism of pure violence. They could ride for days without stopping, drinking the blood of their horses to survive. They could coordinate maneuvers across miles of terrain using signal flags and whistling arrows. They were the embodiment of meritocracy. Every man in the saddle knew he was there because he was good enough to be there. And he knew that if he failed, he would be replaced. Khan's greatest rival was his childhood blood brother, Jamukha. Jamukha represented the old world. He was charismatic, noble-born, and a believer in the aristocracy of the steppe. He believed that bloodlines dictated destiny. The war between Temujin and Jamukha was not just a war between two men. It was a war between two philosophies. Jamukha fought with the arrogance of tradition. Temujin fought with the desperation of innovation. When they finally met for the last time, Jamukha had been betrayed by his own men. His underlings handed him over to Khan, expecting a reward. But Khan despised betrayal. He executed the traitors instantly. Khan offered Jamukha a chance to reconcile. He offered him a place at his side. But Jamukha knew the truth. He told Khan that there was only room for one sun in the sky. He asked for a noble death, to be killed without spilling blood, by having his back broken. Khan granted this request. The death of Jamukha was the death of the aristocracy. It was the final proof that pedigree cannot save you from a superior system. The world does not care about your ancestors. It does not care about your title. It will break your back just the same if you cannot compete. Once the steppe was unified, Khan turned his eyes outward. He looked at the great empires of the south and west, the Jin dynasty in China, the Khwarezmian Empire in Persia. These were civilizations of immense wealth and sophistication. They had walled cities, scholars, poets, and millions of subjects. They looked at the Mongols and saw dirty barbarians. This arrogance was their death warrant. The Jin dynasty sat behind the Great Wall, believing stone could protect them from will. But a wall is only as strong as the men guarding it. Khan did not just attack the wall. He bribed the guards. He exploited the internal divisions of the Chinese court. He used their own engineers against them. When the Mongols encountered fortified cities, they did not have siege engines. So they learned. They captured Chinese engineers and forced them to build catapults and trebuchets. They adopted the technology of their enemies and perfected it. They did not say, "This is not our way." They asked, "Does it work?" This adaptability is the hallmark of the meritocratic mind. The sentimental man clings to his traditions even when they fail him. The effective man discards anything that does not work and adopts anything that does. Khan was a sponge for utility. He absorbed the best weapons, the best tactics, and the best minds from every culture he conquered. Then came the Khwarezmian Empire. This was a tragedy of ego. Genghis Khan originally wanted trade. He sent a caravan to the Sultan of Khwarezm, offering partnership. He wrote, "I am the master of the lands of the rising sun, and you are the master of the lands of the setting sun. Let there be a firm treaty of friendship and peace between us." The Sultan, blinded by his own perceived superiority, insulted the Khan. The governor of a border city seized the caravan and executed the merchants. When Khan sent ambassadors to demand justice, the Sultan shaved their beards and sent them back. He mistook Khan's diplomatic overture for weakness. The response was absolute. Khan did not just invade, he erased. He unleashed a campaign of terror that the world had never seen. He diverted rivers to wash away the Sultan's birthplace. He built pyramids of skulls. He destroyed the irrigation systems that had sustained agriculture for centuries, turning fertile land into desert. But this was not mindless rage. It was calculated psychological warfare. It was a message to the world. If you submit to merit, you live and prosper. If you stand on ceremony and insult the machine, you will be ground into dust. The Khwarezmian Empire fell not because it lacked soldiers, but because it lacked leadership. The Sultan fled and died alone on an island in the Caspian Sea, dressed in rags. The Mongol Empire eventually controlled the Silk Road. They created the first safe international trade route in history. A maiden with a pot of gold could walk from the Pacific to the Black Sea without being molested. How was this possible? Because the laws were absolute. The Yasa Khan's code of law applied to everyone, from the lowest slave to the great Khan himself. There was no immunity for the rich. Theft was punished by death. Adultery was punished by death. Lying was punished by death. It was harsh, yes, but it was fair. And more importantly, it was efficient. For the first time, merit determined your status in the world economy. Merchants, scholars, and craftsmen were elevated above aristocrats. Khan exempted priests and doctors from taxes, regardless of their religion. He did not care if you were Taoist, Muslim, Christian, or Buddhist. He only asked if your prayers or your medicine worked. He realized that religious intolerance was a waste of human capital. Why kill a man for his God if he can build a bridge? Why persecute a scholar if he can map the stars? The Mongol court became a melting pot of ideas, not because Khan was a liberal humanist, but because he was a ruthless pragmatist. He wanted the best software for his empire, regardless of where it came from. This is the lesson that the modern world has forgotten. We live in a time where feelings are prioritized over facts. We promote people to meet quotas, not standards. We protect the weak feelings of the incompetent rather than celebrating the strength of the capable. We have become the Jin dynasty. We are bloated, slow, and obsessed with rituals that produce nothing. Genghis Khan shows us the alternative. It is a dark path, but it is a path of clarity. It requires you to look at yourself in the mirror and ask the hard question, what am I actually good at? Not what you want to be good at. Not what your parents told you were good at. What can you deliver? In the meritocracy of the steppe, there is no tenure. You have to prove your worth every single day. The moment you stop being useful, you start dying. This creates a state of hyper-awareness, a hunger. When you know that your position is not guaranteed by rights but earned by deeds, you become sharper. Subutai, another of Khan's great generals, was the son of a blacksmith. In any other society, he would have died hitting hot iron with a hammer. Under Khan, he commanded armies that crushed the knights of Europe. He coordinated attacks on Hungary and Poland simultaneously, separated by hundreds of miles, with a precision that modern armies would envy. He destroyed the European chivalry because the knights fought for glory and individual honor. They charged foolishly because they wanted to be heroes. Subutai fought to win. He used feigned retreats, smoke screens, and ambush tactics. He viewed war as a game of chess, while the Europeans viewed it as a pageant. The knights were heavy, slow, and burdened by their code of honor. The Mongols were light, fast, and burdened by nothing. They killed the horses of the knights first. This was considered unchivalrous by the Europeans. The Mongols did not care. A knight on the ground is just a man in a tin can, waiting to be opened. This is the power of meritocracy over feelings. It strips the enemy of his dignity before it takes his life. It refuses to play by rules that are designed to protect the status quo. If the rules say you must fight face to face, but you can win by shooting from behind a rock, the meritocratic man shoots from behind the rock. He wants the victory, not the applause. The legacy of Genghis Khan is often painted in blood, and it should be. He killed millions. He was a destroyer of worlds, but he was also a creator of order. He took a chaotic, fractured world and forced it into a structure that made sense. He proved that a system built on competence will always defeat a system built on privilege. Today, you are fighting your own war. You are fighting against the entropy of your own life. You are fighting against a society that wants you to be soft, compliant, and average. They tell you that you are special just for existing. They lie to you. The spirit of the Khan whispers the truth. You are nothing until you make yourself something. The world owes you nothing. Your degree, your title, your past, these are just costumes. Strip them off. What remains? If you were dropped onto the frozen steppe today, with nothing but the clothes on your back, would you survive? Would men follow you? Would you be a leader? Or would you be a victim? The answer lies in your ability to suppress your ego and elevate your competence. It lies in your willingness to learn from your enemies, to discard what doesn't work, and to be ruthlessly honest with yourself. We are afraid of the word ruthless. We think it means being evil. It does not. It means having less ruth, less pity, for the things that make us weak. It means having no pity for your own laziness, no pity for your own excuses, no pity for the toxic people you keep around because of history. Khan cut the dead weight. He cut the toxic aristocrats. He cut the useless traditions, and in doing so, he became weightless. He became a force of nature. You have the potential to build your own empire. It might be a business, a body of work, or a philosophy. But you cannot build it on the shaky foundation of feelings. You cannot hire people because you like them. You cannot make decisions because they feel good. You must build on the bedrock of merit. Look at the people around you. Look at your team. Look at your circle. Who is the Jebe? Who is the former enemy that has the skill you need? Bring him in. Who is the Jamukha? Who is the old friend who holds you back with outdated ideas? Cut him loose. It is a cold calculus. It is lonely. The air is thin at the top of the mountain, but the view is clear. When Genghis Khan died in 2007, his empire did not collapse. It continued to expand for generations. This is the ultimate test of a system. Does it work without the master? His meritocracy was so robust that it outlived the man himself. He had built a culture of excellence that sustained itself. Most men build monuments of stone that erode with time. Khan built a monument of human capability. He showed us that the raw material of humanity, when forged in the fire of meritocracy, is harder than diamond. Do not seek to be loved. Love is fickle. It changes with the wind. Seek to be necessary. Necessity is absolute. If the world needs you, you are safe. If the world merely likes you, you are expendable. The steppe is waiting. The wind is howling. The choice is yours. Will you huddle in the tent of tradition, waiting for a savior? Or will you mount the horse, draw the bow, and ride into the storm, armed with nothing but your own terrifying competence? The sky is eternal. Your feelings are dust. Only your actions remain. Be useful or be forgotten.